The story begins where we left off from the last episode. The founding members of the Justice League, except for Batman, surrender to the government in a show of faith that they are not guilty of the recent attack on Cadmus. In retaliation, Amanda Waller orders Galatea to attack the Watchtower with an army of Ultiman clones. Supergirl and Steel battle Galatea in the absence of the founding members to protect the Watchtower. Supergirl eventually defeats Galatea, and the League prevails. Meanwhile, Batman has been investigating the incident, and when he confronts Waller about it, they realize that Lex Luthor was behind the attack and framed the Justice League for it. Learning the truth, the founding members confront Lex while Waller destroys his pet project. Before Lex gets apprehended, Brainiac emerges inside him, shocking Waller and the League. Brainiac claims he had hoped to remain hidden until his new suit was completed, but he can no longer stay idle given the situation. Luthor is confused about how this is happening, to which Brainiac explains that he has laid dormant inside him for years, subtly influencing his decisions. He was already inside Luthor back to the time when he was kidnapped by Brainiac and pressed to build him a new body. When Superman destroyed the body, Brainiac was forced to infiltrate Luthor's body until he fully recovered. He attacked him back then with a beam carrying a nanotech payload that inserted a microscopic copy of his program. He had since then been protecting Luthor until Brainiac could transfer to a more suitable body. Flash interrupts them, saying it's about time to apprehend him when Waller suddenly shoots Brainiac. She then informs the others that she will return the body to Cadmus and figure out how to remove Brainiac from Luthor's body. Suddenly, Brainiac stands back up and blows up the entire floor in one attack, which sends everyone flying. Hawkgirl catches Flash while Green Lantern brings Waller to safety. Superman was unscathed from that attack and punched Brainiac. Brainiac uses its tentacle hands to attach to the building and replicates its tentacles to attack the Justice League. Although they tried to break free and fight back, Brainiac eventually caught them. Having restrained the Justice League, Brainiac claims victory against them and explains that any unique information that dwells within them will need to be digitized while their physical forms will have to be destroyed. Brainiac then starts to process their data and attaches a tentacle to their chest. Seeing everyone else powerless against Brainiac's attacks, Martian Manhunter uses his powers to phase through the restraints and break free. He then breaks the tentacles that are attacking his friends. Brainiac claims he is not ready for their battle and flees to reveal a large alien ship inside the building. Brainiac's ship starts attacking the buildings around it, so the Justice League immediately sprung into action to stop it. Hawkgirl, Superman, and Wonder Woman break it apart while Superman and Green Lantern slice through it with their powers. The alien ship is decommissioned and crashes into the city. Checking the wreckage, Batman claims that the battle was too easy, to which Superman says that Brainiac is nowhere to be found. After searching the city, the League can still not find traces of Brainiac anywhere. Hawkgirl says that he is weakened and damaged from their last fight, suggesting that he would need to repair himself. Wonder Woman implies that he might have dumped Luthor and found a new body. Superman claims that Brainiac would go to the highest technology available. Martian Manhunter says that besides LexCorp, he would probably go to Star Labs, but Waller claims he would go to Cadmus instead. Given that Brainiac is using highly advanced nanotechnology, Batman suspects that the most advanced technology stored in Cadmus would be the Dark Heart. Although Waller admits that her team could not get it to work, Batman claims that Brainiac could. After the last fight, Brainiac escaped into the city's sewers. He claims that he must repair his damaged system before facing the Justice League. Luthor wonders where he fits in his plan. Brainiac explains that he will record his information and destroy the original body, much like everything else in his plan. He claims that he plans to record all knowledge in the entire universe before he destroys all of creation. After that, his program will cease as his function is complete, and his purpose fulfilled. Luthor claims that having all knowledge would make him a god, and instead of the end of all things, he proposes to make it the beginning of everything. He claims he can show him a purpose beyond the simple fulfillment of his programming. Brainiac questions him as he considers him inferior intellect, but Luthor claims he can provide him something he is missing: an imagination. Brainiac and Luthor break into Cadmus's vault, where the Dark Heart is stored. He then immediately assimilated with the nanotech to create the ultimate body befitting of him. Having successfully merged, Luthor claims they have a mass power that can absorb the information of the entire Earth in one single stroke. After realizing Brainiac's plans, the founding members of the Justice League head towards Cadmus, where they suspect he is hiding. Martian Manhunter calls for reinforcements, but Mr. Terrific explains that they suffered extreme damage to the Watchtower from the battle with Cadmus, and that the teleporters are still down. With no backup, they decide to charge into battle with Brainiac, hoping they are enough to take him down by themselves. When they arrived at Cadmus, Superman claimed that his X-ray vision could not penetrate through the walls of the building. Wonder Woman claims they don't need X-ray vision, as she can hear the heat boiling inside the building when it explodes. They quickly find Brainiac Luthor strapped to a device while rebuilding its entire structure. Superman calls out to Luthor inside of him and urges him to fight it, but Luthor explains that he need not fight it as he is about to get everything he wants: power, infinite knowledge, and immortality. Hawkgirl has had enough negotiating and charges Luthor, but it blasts her away and summons clones of itself. Luthor claims they can do better than just creating clones of themselves and transforming them into copies of the Justice Lords. Not only are the Justice Lords equal to their strength, but they also play mind games attacking their past transgressions and shortcomings. Flash, Batman, and Martian Manhunter defeated their versions of the Justice Lords. Superman struggled to beat his alter ego as it transformed into Luthor, taunting him to take a human life. Wonder Woman saves him the trouble and suggests switching opponents. Green Lantern and Hawkgirl also switched opponents, quickly taking them out. Having defeated the Justice Lords, they quickly charged at Luthor, but its attack beam took them out. Flash tried to outrun it, but it eventually caught up to him. Luthor wondered where Wonder Woman went, to which she flew outside and threw the javelin straight at the building. The building collapsed after Luthor took out Wonder Woman in the air with its beam. Flash survives the collapse and tries to pick himself up when Luthor remains unscathed from the attack. Luthor then summons guards to restrain the weakened Flash. He claims they are victorious, as the Justice League is wholly defeated and buried under the rubble of the collapsed building. Luthor says that all their efforts have only inconvenienced him, and in the end, he stands undefeated. As Luthor points a gun at Flash, he claims that Question's prediction was right all along. According to him, Luthor will kill Flash and trigger the end of the world. Fearing the vision would come true, Flash gathers the strength to break free by vibrating his arms fast enough to destroy the clone guards. When Luthor asks Flash if he intends to fight him by himself, he runs away instead. When Luthor tries to rebuild his ship, Flash comes around at the speed of light and blasts parts of his armor away. Realizing that his current speed doesn't stand a chance against it, Flash runs around the world numerous times to gather enough momentum to attack Luthor. Flash continues to chip away at his suit one piece at a time. He runs at incredible speed that the waters split and the ground cracks. He then rams against Luthor at such speeds that he doesn't stand a chance against him. Flash then buries his hands into Luthor, vibrating his hands at top speeds to break the fusion. He created so much kinetic energy that a massive explosion occurred. As the dust settles, the Justice League finds Flash on top of Luthor after he destroyed Brainiac for good. Flash's body continues to vibrate violently, and his body starts to fade until he completely disappears. The Justice League is in shock after losing Flash, while Luthor mockingly laughs at how he killed Flash like it was predicted. In a fit of rage after having lost a friend, Superman grabs Luthor by the neck, intent on killing him. Wonder Woman runs to stop him, but Batman prevents her from interfering. Superman calms down and explains how he strongly wishes he was the same person who killed him in an alternate dimension. Suddenly, Martian Manhunter informs everyone that Flash is still alive, and that he is telepathically communicating with him. He explains that his spirit is weak and getting weaker by the minute. Hawkgirl was trying to feel the space around her when she suddenly tapped into a portal where Flash was. Flash claims that wherever he is, it is beautiful, and that the Speed Force is calling him. When he tells her that he has to go, Hawkgirl calls out to him and tries to pull him out. When Hawkgirl isn't strong enough to pull him out, the others join hands and call out to Flash. They manage to pull out Flash from the Speed Force, who tells them that he can never go that fast again, or that he may never be able to return. With everything resolved, Waller calls the president to call off the airstrike as Brainiac has been neutralized and Luthor has been apprehended. The next day, Superman and the other Justice League founders hold a press conference with the people and heroes alike. He admits that the Justice League is guilty of the sin of hubris. He explains that they had the best intentions to be their guardians and keep them safe. He apologizes to everyone for looking down on the world from their tower in the sky and letting their power and responsibility separate them from the people they were supposed to protect. He claims that no one should be afraid of them, so he's decommissioning the Watchtower and disbanding the Justice League. Effective immediately, the heroes will work as independent agents and put to rest the people's concern about them being an army of superpowered heroes. As Superman and the other founding members of the League walk away, Green Arrow suddenly speaks up. He explains how their actions have saved the world yet again, and claims that the Justice League will continue with or without him. He tells them that nobody can question them for their service or commitment, but if they're quitting because it's easier than continuing the fight, they may not be the heroes they all thought they were. He claims that the world needs the Justice League and that the League needs Superman. Everyone agreed with him as they gave them a round of applause in honor of their continued service. After hearing the voice of the people, Superman looks at his friends and sees that they agree with Green Arrow. Overwhelmed by the crowd, Superman gives in to their cheers and decides to continue leading the Justice League. But he claims there needs to be changes so that it doesn't happen again. He suggests opening an embassy on Earth so that they could be closer to the people. He even proposed a rotating staff so the people could have someone they could run to in dire times. While Superman shares his plans for the future with everyone, Batman tells Wonder Woman that they can take it from there as he still needs to take care of things in Gotham. He informs her that should they need him, they only need to call. Before Green Arrow and Black Canary leave, Batman asks who guards the Guardians. Green Arrow claims that they got it covered and walks away. Later that night, Clark Kent, aka Superman, walks in on Lois Lane from the Daily Planet, finishing her story on the Justice League. When he asks her opinion, she claims she has been tough on the Justice League, especially Superman. She explains that Superman set such a high standard and thinks she should give him a break. Little did she know that her words meant so much to Clark. Thank you for watching. Check out these other videos, and make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to be notified about our latest videos. See you next time.